Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and you probably saw my last video about how to handle, picking out cards and picking out colors and assembling your deck for the upcoming pre-release. That's going to be 4 Eldritch Moon boosters and 2 Shadows over Innistrad, plus the promo. Well, don't you wish you could practice it? Hey, there is a site for that. My friend showed it to me. It's awesome. It's mtgmirror.com, and we're here right now. You basically just hit, hey, Eldritch Moon 4, Shadows over Innistrad 2, include promo, and hit open boosters. And as you can see, I pulled the freaking Gitrog Monster and Archangel Avacyn. What? I mean, even Startled Awake. I would just be like, I don't care what happened, I won. That's expensive, but let's just hit it again just for our sake here. You can see I randomized it. Hey, Tree of Perdition, look at that, I just won the pre-release. Okay, that's not quite that good, but what you do is you basically get a pool here, and goes by rarity, which is exactly how you should break it down, honestly. And then you build a deck out of it, or theoretically do it. So what you can do is you can click on a card and say, hey, that's my selected card, that's a selected card, that, I probably shouldn't do with the lands. And then you could say, try a test hand. And so it's a pretty good simulator. I really like it. So let's just reset it again. Let's see what we come up with. Because honestly, I could tell you, soft logic theory as much as, I possibly can. And some people just learn better by seeing an example. So, and plus, you should probably go practice yourself. That's huge. So I'll hit open boosters. Oh, I got the little kitty. Awesome. So my foil promo is Ulvenwild Observer. So that's guaranteed to be a rare or mythic, in case you're not familiar. So that's cool. Of course, it says whenever creature you control with toughness 4 or greater dies, draw a card. That is definitely not bad in sealed if you can get a whole bunch of creatures with toughness 4 or greater. So if you got a whole bunch of large defensive creatures or large creatures, just go a hair over on the mana so that you can bring them out, because their summoning cost is probably huge, and then you're set. So I'll definitely be considering green, especially since there's another rare from green, which is Emrakul's Evangel, I guess that's pronounced. You tap him and sacrifice any number of other non-Eldrazi creatures and put a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi horror creature token onto the battlefield for each creature sacrificed this way. That's unbelievable. I mean, you could just wipe out all your crap creatures with, 3/2s and there's your aggro. The only problem is, you wouldn't want to wipe out a 5/5. So in sealed, it's good, but it's not that good. Both of these green cards really, really depend on what else you pull. Now, Harmless Offering, absolutely beyond worthless in sealed. I mean, unless you happen to pull, well, I guess, no, you wouldn't pull Demonic Pact, would you? It's from Origins. So I can't think of really anything else you'd want to give to an opponent, so that's a dead card. Docent of Perfection, that one's a little rough. I mean, it's a 5/4 flyer for 5, so there's that. And then let's see, you put a wizard token out every time you cast a spell. That's kind of cool, instant or sorcery. Then if you control 3 or more total wizards and transform it, so it's kind of cool. I mean, just the fact that it's flying, you'll probably win. You don't even need the effect, but little extra tokens are cool. And you'll probably go pretty spell heavy in blue, so that's worth consideration. Soul Separator is pretty cool. I mean, it's just a bonus token. That's not bad. I would probably throw it in, if there's room, basically, because, yeah, it's an artifact. It doesn't do damage, but it does bring out, spirits and zombies and that sort of thing. And you're exiling the card from your graveyard, so it's kind of like using a creature that already died to generate more creatures. So definitely a lucky pull there. So that's going in almost no matter what. Then we got the Mausoleum Wanderer. I love this creature. He's a 1/1 flyer for 1, so that's huge. And then whenever another spirit enters the battlefield, which, okay, it's limited, you might not be able to get other spirits out, who knows. Mausoleum Wanderer gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Now, you can sack it to counter target instant sorcery spell, unless his controller pays X, where X is Mausoleum Wanderer's power. It's kind of like the Owl, the Judge's Familiar. So that alone's pretty cool, but honestly, just a 1/1 flyer for 1 is pretty good. I mean, the chances are they won't be able to block or remove it for quite a few turns if you can get it out in your opening hand on turn 1. Engulf the Shore, I don't know. I mean, you're going to be playing 2-color. Are you really going to have a whole bunch of islands? Can you really control that you're running high cost? Not really. It's not great. I mean, it's an emergency card. I'd put it in the maybe pile, and I usually do a for sure pile, a maybe pile, and then a no pile for every color that I think is going into my deck. Epiphany at the Drowned Yard, that's cool, because you reveal top X, +1. From your library, separate them into 2 piles, an opponent chooses a pile, and then you get to keep the one they choose. So it's like reverse Fact or Fiction, or I call it a Sphinx card because I'm more familiar with that version. That's pretty nice, because either way, it just puts cards in your hand. The problem is, you're going to have a hard time flipping up 2 cards that are really good that you actually need. So you're probably going to get stuck with crappy cards, but whatever. It might be an extra land or 2. Who knows? Shreds of Sanity, that's kind of cool. And now we're getting into the uncommons. Unfortunately, none of the rares were red, so I'd almost just not even consider red unless the other colors suck. So just completely ignore it for now, especially since Spreading Flames is a joke. And, look at primarily blue and green, because we got blue, 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 green, green as the rares, and then a colorless. So that's huge. So Crop Sigil, that's pretty good. It's interesting. I mean, you're not really going to get Delirium off, but if you can, it would be nice. And then you've already got an artifact going in, so who knows? It's so hard to get Delirium and Sealed without the cards to support it. And then if you do throw them in, you're building your deck just to get Delirium, not to actually be good. So it's kind of like a catch-22 where you just can't win. But I might consider it. I mean, it only costs 1. So whatever. Gnarlroot Dryad is huge. That's insane. It's a 1/1 Death Toucher. They can't swing with anything for the rest of the game without getting it killed, basically. So whether you get Delirium or not, that's a good card. So I'd already, with those two, be saying, yeah, go green. It's good enough at this point, unless it's just utterly tragic after this. And then, a 4/3 Stag for 5 that auto fights a creature. That's cool. Sure, that's going in. It's on the higher end. You got to watch the cost a little bit. Abundant Maw, I mean, that's truly like I considered a black card, so, black wasn't even represented, ignore it. Extractor Extricator of Sin and Flesh, it's good, but, let's see, he doesn't have a colored ability, I thought he did. Oh, no, yeah, he's white to cast, so I don't think white's going in. Grizzled Angler, I mean, that one's kind of cool, because, if you manage to put a colorless creature in your graveyard, you can flip them. Otherwise, a 2/3 for 3 by itself is good. So a good strategy is to just completely ignore the secondary ability if you don't think it's good and just say, hey, is a 2/3 for 3 good in blue? Yeah, it actually kind of is. You can block, you can hit. It's whatever. It's not bad. Slayer's Cleaver, I mean, it's +3/+1 and must be blocked by an Eldrazi. Second part's probably not going to be relevant, but 3 to get it out and 4 to equip it, I don't think so. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. You throw it out there just to get Delirium, because maybe somehow somebody will blow it up and put it in your graveyard, or maybe you'll mill it into your graveyard. It's not a good card. It basically costs 7 to use unless you want to split it between turns, and +3/+1 isn't that great. I mean, it's good, but it's not amazing. I would consider putting it in there if my aggro is low, but other than that, it's putting a whole bunch of mana and a whole bunch of effort and cards into one creature, and then they might blow it up, and then you have to re-equip it for 4 again. So let's see, Nebelgast Herald, I mean, at this point, I'm thinking blue-green. I mean, it almost just has to be blue-green because of the rares. So I would be saying, auto-include, it's a flying 2/1 spirit with flash, okay, don't even read the rest of the card. It does damage. Yay, it doesn't have a detriment. So just ignore it. Scour the Laboratory, it costs 6. I would almost just get rid of it just for that. And then you do draw 3 cards. It's less if you have Delirium. 3 cards for 7, you basically just lost your entire turn. And if you dragged it out to 7, and this is really light on control so far, that would be really weird if that actually happened. Then you've got a boatload of black uncommons. Now that alone might make it worth looking at black as a consideration. Just looking at them, they're not the best cards. They're not like overwhelming amazing creatures. I mean, a 4/3 lifelinker for 5 is pretty good, but it still costs 5. If it's in your opening hand, it's basically a dead card for at least 5 turns, probably realistically 10. So that's not great. Creeping Dread isn't amazing. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's not just like game-ending crazy, like a flying 5/1 for 3 or something. Something just nuts. Even Olivia's Bloodsworn, not that great, has a red secondary ability, so okay, I think we could safely say reconsidering black wasn't worth it, because, you know, 2 really good uncommons in one color kind of makes up for there not being a rare. I mean, not every rare is a winner, and not every uncommon is that good, and some of the uncommons are amazing. It's inconsistent. You got to look at it as a whole, but you do have to narrow it down. Just don't get locked into one thing and say, hey, I can't change my mind now. Now, Lamphold Pastivist, you gotta watch stuff like this. It's a 3/3 for 2, but it can't attack unless you control a creature with power 4 or greater. So that would go in the maybe pile, because I'll look at the rest of them and say, hey, do I have a whole bunch of creature with power 4 or greater? Same as the other one. Do I have toughness 4 or greater? And if the vast majority of my deck doesn't, I just won't throw it in. I don't know. I mean, it can't attack, it can block. So it's like, if I'm really, really, really short on creatures, or I'm just below 40, okay, it's going in, you know, no matter what. Even if I don't think that I'm going to get a creature that big out. And then you could flip her, too, into a 4/4, and there are no restrictions. So that's kind of nice. And, you know, that kind of leans towards include it a little bit. Now, Murderer's Axe, it costs 4 to get out. That kind of sucks. But, and then to equip it, you could discard a card. Good luck getting Madness. I mean, I haven't even seen a Madness card yet. Madness is typically black and red, which we're not playing. I just wouldn't. I mean, you're probably going to have a useless card you don't need in your hand, but losing a card plus 4 mana just to get a +2/+2 on a creature that's probably going to get destroyed as soon as you equip it, not worth it. Highland Lake, that sucks. I mean, if you get a dual color land that actually matches your colors, lucky you. But I've seen a lot of people, they'll pull like 2 Highland Lakes and say, oh my god, 2 Highland Lakes, I'm going those colors, and then their decks just suck. I mean, they got no rares. Don't do that. Color fixing is not that big of a deal. I mean, eventually you're going to pull, like, even if you have 6 mountains, you're going to pull like 1 forest, and then at least you can cast some stuff. There's very, very, very few double green, double red, double whatever in either of these sets. So it's probably not going to come up. Daring Sleuth, that one's awesome. I already know about that card. You know, a lot of the Shadows cards I already know, so I could just say, yeah, that guy's awesome. When he flips, he's awesome. Boom, auto include. And then just keep skipping over it. You know, Crossroads Consecrator. Hey, it's a 1/2 for 1, and it has an ability. You don't even need to think too hard about, you know, target attacking human gets +1/+1. Is it worth tapping him? How many humans do I have? No, it's a 1/2 for 1. Just throw it in the damn deck. I mean, people overthink this like crazy. Technically by now I would be sleeving, you know, my deck if I didn't have to talk about these. Now, 2 copies of Prey Upon, that's insane. I mean, that's just insane. I mean, I think I even included that as one of the bomb uncommons. They're just insanely good, because you could just say, oh, this creature is not normally going to block when I swing, but guess what? Fight, wipe it out, done. Just remember that damage doesn't wear off till the end of turn. That's really important, because if you take 3 damage in a fight and then swing, they could block with like a 1/1 and kill you if you have 4 toughness. Primal Druid, you know, that's cool. And then Swift Spinner, I mean, yeah, Flash Reach, whatever, costs 4. It's a little expensive. I'd put all 3 of them in the maybe pile. I might not include all 3. So I probably should have been clicking on these right now so that I could get a count, but you guys kind of get the gist of it. I'm not literally going to build a 40-card deck and, you know, go that nuts. But Woodcutter's Grid is one of the best cards in all of Green in Eldritch Moons, at least as far as commons are concerned. So that's going in. I mean, 3/3 hexproof, you got to be kidding me. Plus, it's an instant. 3/2 vigilance in a creature, yeah. I mean, if I could pull something like this, I guarantee I won. Now you got to go to the colorless once you get past all the blue and all the green, which there's a couple more left. You know, probably throw in the rest of the blues. Green's a little bit light, so you're going to end up with almost all of them unless the card is quite literally useless. And then you just start looking at Cultist Staff. You know, only costs 2 to get out, costs 3 to equip. That's kind of reasonable, and it's a +2/+2. It's a lot cheaper than the Axe. You know, it just comes down to numbers. Are you at 38 cards? Are you at 48 cards? If you're at 48, cut the staff. If you're at 38, throw the staff in, pretty much. You should never be afraid to put in colorless creatures, even if they're not that great. Like a 2/1 for 2 is not that great, but guess what? It gets past any kind of color screwedness. So no problem there. Contingency Plan, one of the best cards that you could possibly have in Limited. I know people have said, oh, it's terrible, don't use it. And other people like me have said, it's amazing, do use it. Scrying 5 in a 40-card deck in Limited when most of your cards suck and you want them gone Are you kidding me? Plus, that's automatic delirium if you pop, the right cards. You could throw a land and throw an artifact in your graveyard with this card. I mean, that's just insane. So, this is a problem with, like, Enlightened Maniac. It's a 0/2 for 4, so you're like, okay, what does this do? Well, when it enters the battlefield, put a 3/2 colorless Eldrazi Horde token on the battlefield. That's cool, 2 for 1, it still costs 4. I would honestly put that in the maybe pile. If I look like I'm good on creatures... if you keep all these, all of blue, all of green, you're probably going to end up with 50 or 60 cards, once you add lands. So you don't want to do that. I would definitely only put that in if I was short. I mean, it's good, but anything above 3 cost, you just don't want it in your opening hand, because if somebody goes just 1/2 cost super creature blitz, even 3 color, as long as they start with the right colors and can get away with it, they're just going to be pounding you and you won't even get to 4 mana. So you got to watch the cost, not as much as standard constructed, but you do have to watch the cost. You can't just put in a bunch of 5 costs and say, oh, they're all super powered, I'm going to win, because you're not. Take inventory, it's another manipulation card. You got to watch out how many blue, bounce back to hand, counterspell, and draw and scry cards you have, because if you short yourself on creatures, you're going to lose, because you do have to actually win the game at some point. Number one mistake I see people make, I would say, 2/1 flyer. Hey, can only block creatures with flying, whatever, it's damage, throw that in. Blue doesn't have very much damage. Green has a lot, but not from what I've seen so far, so automatic include right there. Let's see. Well, the rest of these are the wrong color. Oh, Grotesque is really good. Shambleback is amazing. Strange Augmentation is really good. That's a shame. But black just wasn't happening. With no rares and most of the uncommons being kind of weak, I don't care what I see. It's just not good enough at this point. Might Beyond Reason is pretty good. I mean, you get 2 permanent counters. That's, cost 4 though, so definitely going in the maybe pile. Wicker Witch, it's a 3/1 for 3. I don't think that that's quite good enough unless I'm just dying to get creatures, which from memory I'm not. Let's see. Let's polish this up. Deny existence, counter target creature spell, exile it. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's an awfully expensive, I don't know, there's a two cost version of I can't think of it. Was it Nullify or something like that? Or that's non-creature. Whatever. There's a 2-cost creature killer, and this ain't it. But still, for 3, you could sit there and, remove their creatures, kill them, block them, ambush them. And then, boom, there you go, cancel the next one they summon, and they might just go straight to top decking and you win. Lamplighter's pretty good. I mean, I'd put him in. He's 5, but so far the cost has been pretty low, just kind of keeping it in the back of my head. Nibelus, another flyer with Prowess, a 2/1. That's an auto-include. Basically, if it's a flyer and it costs less than, 4, get it in there. I mean, it's so much damage, especially in blue. Press for Answers, last card. Tap target creature, doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Investigate. So not only do you get to draw, and draw is super important, not only does it only cost 2, not only is it not double blue, but you get to get a problem out of your way for a turn and a half to 2 turns, depending upon how you look at it. It's a shame with these 2 Alms of the Vein, but just glancing at it, still, seriously, black is not good enough. Do not be tempted to put it in. So basically, that's how I break it down. I go rarity, because that's typically implies power, and I'm not too, set on it just based on the rares and the land fixers and that kind of stuff, to not reconsider a color like black halfway through it. So that's definitely the mental, I don't know, whatever you call it, the mental process, I guess, that I go through. Hopefully that shines some light on what you should be doing. I could run another example if you guys really want, but otherwise this is kind of a more boring video, more technical. But if it helped you out, let me know. Leave a like and a comment about any other tips you have to help people out, because a lot of people tell me, hey, I play but I don't go to pre-releases, or hey, I've been playing for less time than there has been pre-releases. Like, I started after Shadows came out, so I've never had a pre-release. Or they've been too intimidated by the pro players saying, oh yeah, here's my advanced strategy, blah, 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 and they just think, oh, I'm going to get wiped out at the pre-release. You pull cards like this, a pool like this, you just won. I mean, it's more about luck than it is about play skill and deck building skill. As long as you have basic skills in those locations, you're going to win. I mean, you saw the last one. I had Archangel Avacyn and Gitrog. I mean, okay, Gitrog's not that good in Limited, but money-wise, it was great, but power-wise, that was insane. Next randomization, I pulled the 013 tree. Let's see what I pulled just by hitting it again. This is going to be funny. Oh, another Harmless Offering. Terrible. Crypt Breaker. That's good. I mean, could convert any card in your hand into a 2/2. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's not bad, not bad. You get to draw a card too, you know, loosen blockers, not great. Eternal Scourge, mother of all cards, and it's colorless. I mean, there you go. You get that. It's so huge. And then Always Watching. Oh my god. I really wish any of my pre-release packs resembled a pool like this. Oh my gosh. Even Two Foul Emissaries. Oh my god. Shreds of Sanity is alright. I mean, Always Watching and Eternal Scourge, it wouldn't even matter what the other color is. Dark Salvation, that's a little touchy. I mean, you're probably going to get up there in the mana count, you know, but then you got Ever After, and a whole bunch of my rares are the same color. I mean, there's basically 4 black rares plus a black-ish card, you know, kind of acts like a zombie. So yeah, I mean, it's all about the pool. So if you get a good pool, go for it. I recommend you go to multiple pre-releases because then you can get multiple shots at it. And you'll be learning the cards, you'll be learning what deck types work and what don't, and you know what your opponents are playing and all that. So hopefully you guys have fun, and I will see you next video.